UFOs are real, burgeoning, and not going away. I am your intrepid host, L.A. Marzulli. Thanks for tuning in for another episode of UFO Update. I think you'll find this testimony from our guest here, Kim, very interesting. But first, a word from our trusted sponsor. In a world of economic uncertainty, safeguarding your retirement savings is more important than ever. Folks, gold is a trusted store of value, providing stability for centuries through countless market cycles. With a gold IRA from Noble Gold Investments, you can protect your financial future with the enduring power of precious metals. Don't let election volatility erode your hard-earned nest egg. Folks, vote for the timeless safety of gold and silver in 2024 and get up to 10 1-ounce silver Trump coins or a 10-ounce silver American flag bar with a qualifying account. Noble Gold Investments, your partner in financial peace of mind. NobleGoldInvestments.com, NobleGoldInvestments.com. Folks, remember, there's always a risk of investment and there's no guarantee of any kind. However, my wife and I did this a few years ago and we are absolutely tickled that we did. Once again, that's NobleGoldInvestments.com. Kim, thanks so much for joining us. You came up to the table. We're here at the Prophecy Watchers Conference in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and you came up and you said you had an encounter years ago. Tell us about that, please.
Yes, the best I can recollect, it was in the fall of 1968 or 1969. I was walking down the street in my hometown of Leadville, Colorado, from my home heading to the west, towards the downtown. And above my right shoulder, I heard a buzz and I turned around, and there, just almost opposite me, I was walking down the left shoulder, and right in the center of the street was what looked like a boomerang or a flying wing UFO. It was making a light buzz. There was no features on it, no cockpit that you could identify. The thing was pretty small. It was about the size of a drone, but we're talking 1969, 69. They didn't exist. And I grew up in a little town, a little mountain town, no military bases around whatsoever. And this thing came by me with a light buzz. I can't remember it being metallic, but it was probably 15, 20 feet from wingtip to wingtip, maybe 18 inches from edge to edge of the wings. And it just continued down the street at a slow pace. After wondering for years and years and years what this thing might have been, I was watching L.A. on Gary Stearman talking about abductions, and my theory is that thing was monitoring or scooping potential abductees. Mm-hmm. I wasn't scared when it went by. Other than the sound that it made and the visual that I saw, there was nothing to it.
So how big was this thing again? Tell us.
I guesstimate around 12 feet from wingtip to wingtip, okay, and 18 inches thick. It was shaped like a boomerang or a flying wing. And that got my attention because, they were that XB-49 back in the day, it was a flying wing that was shaped just like that.
I interviewed a woman about a month and a half, 2 months ago, who was driving in a car with her sister. And she looks out the window and sees something very similar to this. And it's a very interesting interview. But none of the other drivers seemed to see it. Were you with anyone?
No, I was by myself.
By yourself?
Yes.
Were there any cars in the area?
No
one else saw it.
It was a calm
How did
fall
it leave
afternoon.
the scene? So it's down the street.
Yes.
You're watching this thing. How does it eventually leave?
There was a hill that it dropped down, and it dropped down that little hill. I was on East 8th Street, in Alder in Leadville, Colorado. It was heading west, and down on a block and a half, there was a little hill that it disappeared down.
So it never came up out of that?
No.
So it just disappeared?
Yes.
So this buzzing noise, we've heard this from a lot of different people who've had encounters with UFOs. The buzzing noise also happened, and this is what you might find interesting. And folks, this is why you need to do a deep dive on the series. But it also happened at Fatima, where people heard a buzzing noise as this metallic, I looked up and saw a dull silver disc, That's from 1917, eyewitnesses. What does that sound like? A dull silver disc. It's certainly not Mary of the Bible, with all due respect, and it's certainly not the sun leaving its place in the solar system and coming down to Earth. A dull silver disc. How do we know this? The handwritten documents from Father Fierro, the parish priest in 1917, who interviewed the witnesses right after the so-called miracle of the sun happened. I looked up and saw a dull silver disc. And when this thing came down low and buzzed the crowd, no pun intended, people heard this buzzing noise. So it goes hand in hand with ufology, the whole UFO phenomena. Kim, thanks so much for coming on the record. It's a short encounter. My last question to you would be, did you have any missing time? Did you have any?
No.
Okay,
no.
so you were,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. And there was no fear. There was no encounter whatsoever other than, the sound that it made and the visual that I saw.
Were there any windows in it?
No, there was nothing.
Just metallic craft?
It was just, there was no protrusions, no intakes or anything else that I could identify.
No rivets?
No.
Not
no.
just this gleaming, what color was it again?
It didn't even seem to be metallic. So the light was kind of, it was dark, and there was a street light above.
Okay.
But if anything, it was maybe a light tannish color.
Okay.
Nothing gleaming though.
And what time of day is this, or night?
Probably about 7:30 in the evening,
So
on a
it's-
fall afternoon.
So it's kind of dark then?
Yes.
Wow. As the craft came by, did it light up the area?
No.
What color was the light emanating from the craft?
It seemed to be kind of the best I can recall, and now this is over 50 years. It was kind of brownish tan, Like I said, there was no gleam, whatever.
Wow.
So just kind of a dull flat.
And that, folks, is Close Encounters of a Second Kind, because it's very close.
I was
very
probably
close.
within 10 or 15 feet of it.
Yeah, that's Close Encounters of a Second Kind.
Yeah.
Kim, thanks you, sir, for coming on the record. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And God bless you, folks.
I've been looking forward to do this for a long time.
Well, thank you for your courage and boldness to come on. Folks, there are millions of people who have had encounters, and until 2017, most people didn't talk about it. You were a conspiracy theorist, or worse, a tinfoil hat. And of course, I wore my tinfoil hat very proudly, and it's on our YouTube channel. You can see me wearing my tinfoil hat. But UFOs are real, burgeoning, not going away. This is the coming great deception. This is not space. These are not space brothers from some faraway galaxy here to help us, into the next paradigm shift of consciousness. No, it's not. This is the coming great deception, in my opinion, and I think it ties in with the biblical prophetic narrative. You need to do a deep dive. We have 10 films. My business partner and I, Gil Zimmerman, have made 10 films on the UFO phenomena. I encourage you to go to our streaming site, streaming.lamarzulli.net, or go to the website and buy the hard copies. For $4.99, you can download any of our UFO, and all 30 films are there, $4.99. We lowered the price. It's less than a cup of coffee in Starbucks, for crying out loud. Why? So you can do your homework. Time to do your homework. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
What happens if a mile-wide craft shows up above Washington? Who's behind it?
Well, at some level, the government, the military, and the intelligence community.
It is a threat, and it's going to soon become a global threat, and it's going to require a global response.
The UFO phenomenon has become the great off-putting.
We're going to get disclosure accidentally.
An interesting time to be alive. We live in a time where literally the government told us these UFOs are real, we don't know what they are.
The question then is, who are they in contact with? Are they truly extraterrestrial? Has mankind been visited by inhuman entities?
What are your closing thoughts in regard to disclosure?
Floodgates are open, and all bets are off right now.
They're definitely conditioning the masses for some kind of revealing of technology.
We're being visited by extraterrestrials.
If you look at the late night talk hosts, when they're talking to all the presidents, and they always bring up the question, are you going to tell us anything? If you look at their faces, they know something.
Folks, the phenomenon is not going away. We go up, they show up. We go up, they come down. To warn of what we believe is the coming great deception.